Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is Kenny, otherwise known as Tater Trader. So let's get in this weekly review. So this week we made $2,300. Um, all this money is basically, I would say 90% of this money is call money. Um, so I broke it down by days just so I can those spaces in between are for let me know the days so I can see how much I made each day. But this is tracking this week basically. Uh, so yeah, 2,300 for the week. I did some work on the spreadsheet. I had a couple guys help me out, so I'm putting a little bit of work in the spreadsheet. So we have 2,300. Yieldmax is paying us $3,083 this month. So we got the XDiv for Yieldmax. So those are there. So we got this money coming in next week. So we're on the road again for this month to see if we can top the other months. So as long as we don't give profits away, we should be good. Outside that, that is what this states. So as I said, the goal is, you know, $3,000 from dividends from options trading for the whole month. And you've seen already, we already on the road to make that. And we got UMax funds paying us between 6 to 7 thousand a month. So we're looking pretty good. All right, so we go into the account now. Uh, so yeah, this week is the first week, and oh man, it was brutal out here, brutal. So we start Monday off with a gap down, not Monday, Tuesday off with a gap down, and I had Mara put that off. I also had some QQQ calls, spy calls. So I had a bunch of calls. So let's say all majority of the money I made this week was all off calls. So I held off Monday on rolling, and that's not Monday, Tuesday on rolling, and I said I would do it Wednesday if we push down Wednesday. So Tuesday I just lift these calls off and put new calls in place with more premium. So if we go down more, those calls get sucked out. And you can these are win puts I was up on, so I got out of these puts. And the same AMD calls. Um, as I said, just tons of calls. I had to roll coin because coin Kathy Wood sold coin in pre-market Monday, so we gapped up to 187, and she sold that stock off to 171. Like she literally sold everything pre-market, which is like just so nasty because there's no volume, so she's just pushing the stock down in pre-market. And it's like she didn't care at all. Because if she'd have waited until the open, there's buyers there, right? Not everybody can buy in pre-market, so it's just a dirty move. And she done this thing multiple times. I seen she did that with Roku. She did this with Myrna. She did with Square. She did with a lot of stocks. So I know it's her selling pattern when she loves selling in pre-market. And after hours earnings. That's when she sells. She doesn't really sell during the day. She buys during the day. Okay. So yes, I had to roll these coins. So I rolled them out a month. Collected 100 on this contract and 88 on this contract. Got my strikes down from 165 down to 140 and 167 down to 145. So that was the main damage on Monday. Going into the close on Monday. So basically, the way it is I take my profits in the morning, sell some calls, and if it goes down in the afternoon, I take the profits on those calls and sell some more calls. So that's literally what I've been doing is just sell some calls in the morning, take my profits, sell some calls, sell some more calls in the evening, and then the next morning again, if we go down again, then I'm taking profits on those calls. So same thing again, just loading up on the calls. But I was trying to sell back some puts and I pulled them out because things weren't working in my favor. Nothing was going on. Saying cashing out the Coinbase call. Uh, Same thing on the Qs, right? The Qs in SPY, like I'm putting the calls in on those because just to cushion the downside blows. So, I was making like, I think I was averaging like $600 a day. for the 4 days. Yeah, around five, 600. Well, on Monday was when I made most of the money that I made this week. I made maybe like $1,100 on Monday, I think. Um, but same thing again, more spy calls. This red here. So Tuesday morning, end phase dump from 132 to 120, man. So I had to get out of this put. I didn't like that type of action because I had three puts. So, I didn't like that type of action. So I had the option of rolling it or keeping it, and um, I didn't want to have to roll three puts. So I was down on the other puts too, and I was like, I don't want to roll three puts. So I just said, you know what, I'm gonna take this loss. I'm not gonna go back in. And at the same time, got out of the Amazon put because this is Tuesday now, and this is my day that I'm gonna roll. So I was like, anything that I think is gonna come down on me, I need to roll it. So I started looking at my position, selling calls still. AMD, so I had to roll AMD Tuesday. As I said, I was gonna roll anything that I feel is gonna get in the money if we continue doing the drop. So roll these AMD, just got a small credit, but I got the distance that I wanted. As you can see, I rolled from 135 to 120. It's months down the road, but I leave that money in the ether and pick it up later. And maybe the trade doesn't go in my favor later, but I'd rather roll it and free up the margin than be there dealing with all that. So this is the other puts that I have to roll. So I have four puts on AMD right now that I'm dealing with. So those got to go. While that's going on, I got EMPH calls that I have. I'm collecting money on Roku calls. I had to roll this square put. I rolled from 69 down to 60. Um, what was this one here? I had to roll this IWM put. So I rolled this IWM put, got $100, and I sold another put on it. So I got four puts in IWM, and I'm selling those 10 or less deltas against them. So same thing again, just layering calls in the ENPH. Tesla took a nosedive, so I got out of those calls that I was trapped in from the first week of December. I got out of those calls. I took a $60 loss, so this is the money that I was down plus $60. So I took a $60 loss on this. But as you see, these run till April, so I'm happy to get out of them now, so I don't have to hold them through maybe two earnings. So I'm happy to get out of that. As soon as I got out of that, I went right back into selling Tesla calls because I got to get that $60 back. So I sold two Tesla calls. Keep keep with the spy calls. Spy was shaking me out here. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of shake me out. Like I sold the call, and it sold off a little bit, then it started coming back up hard. So I just got out. And I plan on going back in. Bought some UMax funds. That was that. Just more call selling. Nothing of crazy that happened. This is ENPH roll. These are the other two puts that I had. Rolling from 114 down to 100, and I got $100 per contract for that. So roll those puts. IWM calls, just slamming calls in, man. Same thing calls. That's literally what I did this week. Microsoft calls, just sending calls in. So at the end of the day, because you'll see like with my trading, you can see it. The day starts here. I sell until like 11 o'clock, and then I come back in the evening and sell again. So that's basically what I do. Same thing here again. I sell until 10, 11, and then if I look on my phone and I see something at lunchtime or whatever, I'll mess with it. So that's my week in general. This week I took, we got three hard down days. So as you see, my capital is down from 180 to 172, and it's held up because I made 2 grand this week. So I still got to make money on both sides. So for next week, Apple got downgraded, all this stuff. I sneaked the Apple put in there. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but we'll see. We'll see. But it's 177.50. I might take assignment on it. I don't know. Well, I'll see. It's in my mind. Uh, I went back into this stock mainly because I feel like I missed out. So I went back in and I sold a put, March 45 put. So this put is way down there, so we'll see what happens with that. And obviously I'm selling calls because the market is, yeah, acting a certain way. And as I said with ENPH, they got downgraded today. Yeah, so we were hanging out at 119 yesterday, and they got downgraded today. So I went back in and started slamming these calls in again. Because if that's the case, if I'm gonna get hurt on these puts, I'm gonna make mine on these calls. So that's the way I gotta treat it. And when I see the reversal coming, I just gotta get out of the way. If I take a cut on the wrist when it's reversing, it is what it is. But until then, doing that. Meta decided to held up this week. Like, I'm so surprised Meta didn't sell off and hurt me real bad. But it didn't. It didn't. Held up this week. I don't know what Uncle Zuck is doing, but Uncle Zuckerberg is holding the stock up, even though he sold like $500 million worth of shares in December. But somehow this stock is holding up. So I'm in there on the put side and the call side. 5 Delta call, 18 Delta call, 8 Delta call, and I have another call down here that's a 10 Delta call. So I'm in on both sides. Microsoft did a little selling off today. I was only on the call side, and then I saw it, looking strong today. Let me pull this up. I know this review is kind of longer, but let's go with me. So Microsoft today, I saw this thing MSFT. I saw this thing selling off today. This thing up here, right? It was up here, and I was like, oh man, look like we're gonna push. And I kid you not, call me Mr. Top Tick. I sold this thing at 71.25, right? 371.25. I sold this put, and since I sold this put, mere all the way down here. You can't make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. That's what happened to me there. Roku call, SPY, and I sold more Tesla calls, so I have 3 calls on Tesla right now. One expiring next week and 2 more. So I cashed in my first call that I sold, and I have 2 more calls. So if Tesla doesn't rally, I guess it's $300 is gonna be mine, and I'm gonna keep, selling calls because ain't nothing else to do out here. That's it for my weekly review. So, another good week. I ain't got nothing to say against it. Another good week. Looking forward to see what Defiance pay because Defiance funds got beat up this week. Like Tesla and Defiance, they're the ones who gang up on me this week and took that money out my account with them falling down. So I don't think Defiance is gonna pay me 4 grand like they did last month. I think it might be 2,000 something. So we'll see. That's if they even got, what I mean? We'll see what they can pay. But you have to take the good with the bad. So you have to enjoy the $1 dividend, the 50-cent dividend, and the small dividend. That's all I got. Hey, stay in the market and stay green. See you guys next week.